greater testimonies, but I'm talking about the average working man, the average man who's just trying to get by. I'm trying to make it so simple we don't have no excuse. I'm not talking about the millionaire investor. I'm talking about the basic 101. And even a millionaire investor will be a fool not to take this. Shoot, I don't give you get Donald Trump in here. If he won't buy this here, I'm gonna call him a fool to his face. Y'all scared of him, I ain't. Nah, I respect the president.
Sourcing the six figures.
A real example of property we purchased in 2017. We was just riding and saw a for sale by owner sign on the mailbox. How simple is that? You might be leaving this meeting. It's kind of dark, but if it was daytime, you may be leaving this meeting, you ride and you see a house, and you see a for sale by owner sign on the mailbox. You see, not a realty sign, but a for sale by owner. That means the person that owns it is selling it themselves. Now, in this case, the owner was out of town and owned it free and clear. That means he don't owe no mortgage. He's paid it off. You know, he's free and clear. That's the best situation, probably the best situation you can have for a homeowner, being free and clear. You don't owe the bank nothing. You went and got that $40,000 loan, and you paid off that $40,000, right. And now you're free and clear. You see what I'm saying? So you ready to go. So he was cool. He lived in Tampa. I think it was Tampa. He lives in Tampa. He lives in Tampa. And he actually had moved down here. He lived in the house for a little while. But he's an investor. He buys property different places. He has the most property in Tampa. So he didn't really need the house in Jacksonville that much. He really was working mostly out of Tampa. So that leaves an opportunity for someone. One man's trash is another man's treasure. Okay? So when he moved to Tampa, we ride and we see the sign, so I give him a call. And I say, I'm interested in your property to buy it. And he was like, all right. You know, I said, what you looking to get for it? And he was like, 70 or something like that. And, you know, I didn't negotiate yet. I said, are you open to owner financing? And he said, yes. Now, owner financing is like you, instead of paying $65,000 cash, you might put a small down payment down and be purchasing the property over time. Just like the bank give you a loan to buy a property and you pay them back over time, 30 years, 20 years. Well, that homeowner can be the bank. Since he owned it, he can be the bank and he can hold the note. Or he actually can sell it to you, you can close on it, and then he have once you pay him off, it's free and clear, you know, but you can actually buy it. So that's a beautiful situation for owner finance. That allows you to buy a big amount. It chops it down into a doable amount. So, like I said, for sale by owner means it's free and clear, no bank involved, and it's easy to negotiate the terms. See, if he owned it free and clear, he can give it to you if he wanted to. If he just like you was having a good day. And he said, man, you know what? You just called me on the right day. You know, man, you can have this house. I'm moving to China, and I don't want to pay the taxes. This stuff happens. It don't happen every day, but it happens every day overall. But he might say, I'm moving to China, I'm in the military, and I don't want to pay taxes, I don't have no family. This house is a burden. You might like it, but it's a burden to me once I move out of the country. So he gives it to you. So my point is, if he own it free and clear, he can do whatever he wants with this property. He can say, give me $10,000. He can say $20,000. You know, it's negotiable. Also, you can go to the next slide, bro. Also, he can you can negotiate the terms, meaning the amount of years that it takes to pay it off. So backtrack a little bit. I asked him what he was asking for it. Actually, he said 70. I think around 70 cash when he first was asking, and then I asked him, was he interested in owner financing, and would he accept owner financing? I asked him a cash price and on a financing price. So the cash price was $60,000, and on the financing price was $70,000, but I thought he came down to $65,000. So, so basically, we ended up at $65,000. He would accept for the property, and he will accept on the financing. So I was like, man, we good. You know what I'm saying? Now all I got to do is work out the terms and see what he will allow me to get in the house for, the lowest amount. So we got our income tax. Here we go. You got $5,000. We're going $5,000. Well, guess how much I got the property down for? $5,000 down. And he actually closed the property. The property is in my name.
Wow.
Yeah, it's recorded. It's our property. You know, equity, everything. It's our property over, I think it was 15 years, I think it was. And guess how much the payments for 15, it was 15 or 20 years. I paid $475 a month. $475 a month. Is that an okay amount?
Yes, sir.
For a house worth $100 plus?
Joe Public can afford that.
Joe Public. So I want you to think about it. You know, sometimes stuff just we hear things. You rent a part. Let me talk frank now. let me talk straight. So sometimes you gotta talk a little strong, so a person say, "Okay, this is something I need to do." You pay $850 for an apartment. Something you will never own.
Easily.
All day. You pay $1,200 rent for a house.
Easy.
Or a condo.
Yes,
You know. Rent. So you'll never own it, you don't have no equity, you can't do nothing with it. We was able to take our tax return, which everybody I don't know if you're gonna get how much you're gonna get, but if you just got 1,000, maybe he would accept 1,000 down. I just happened to have 5,000. I had actually sold a house. We had just sold a house that month or the month before, and we had our tax return as well, so we had a little cushion, and I wanted to put more down. And I tried him with 3,000, let me tell you the truth, or 2,500, because that would have been the sensational. But he wouldn't go lower than 5,000, but I was happy with 5,000. So we negotiated 5,000. He said, "Okay, you can get it for $5,000 down." And we closed on it at the title company, and he closed on it. It's in our name. It's our property. We own it, and we only paying $475 a month.
Excellent.
With the tax return. But I'm using the example of 5,000 because that's a real example of what we did last year, 2017. Haven't owned it a year yet. So this is a real example, like Brother Howard was giving real examples, Brother Mark giving real examples. This is a real example of what you can do, and you own a house. Now let's say if you want to rent this house out, okay? Now you budgeting like Brother Mark said. Now let me take it up a little level. All right, you say, okay, I'm paying $4. You ain't need the tax money because you was gonna spend it on clothes, cars, all of this stuff. It was gone. So you know what I'm saying? That was gone. So don't act like you really losing no money. Now you can put your money into something that you can see, you can touch for the next 20, 15 years. Instead of Vegas and all of that stuff that you was gonna waste your money on. So now you got this money right back in your pocket. That's your pocket. It's your pocket. Vegas, they pocket. Rent, they pocket. Cars, they pocket. Unless you buy a little cash card, it's their pocket. All that's their pocket, but it's your pocket. As long as you make your little $475 a month payment, which you should be able to do. If you get out selling cans, aluminum cans, you should be able to make if a man can't make a $475 payment a month, he don't even need to be considered a man. I'm gonna talk straight.
Uh-oh.
He can go get a job like Brother Mark said, doing garage sales, sell on eBay. anything to get a $475 a month mortgage paid. You can't live cheaper than that, man. If you you can't live no cheaper than that. I can't see it. And that's talking single. If you got a family, we ain't even. That's a whole nother ball game. So I'm just showing you this is something we did. You know, we have the property right now, but what I was going into is, what if you want to say, hey, I got another property over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rent this property out. Now the property rents for this property $950 a month. So now you rent it for $950 a month, and you subtract $950 from the $475, and a little 5% interest. 5% interest, which is in the payment. 5% interest. So you rent it for $950 a month, and you subtract that, and that goes back in your pocket. So just say that's just say 500. You got 500 coming back in your pocket every month. How many months it's gonna take to get your 5,000 back?
2 months.
Less than a year. So you got the house.
Still got a house too.
You got your house for free,
Wow.
as long as you keep it rented.
Right.
It's real.
This is real.
It's real. It's greater testimonies, but I'm talking about the average working man, the average man who's just trying to get by. I'm trying to make it so simple we don't have no excuse. I'm not talking about the millionaire investor. I'm talking about the basic one-on-one. And even a millionaire investor will be a fool not to take it. Shoot, I don't get, you get Donald Trump in here. If he won't buy this here, I'm going to call him a fool to his face. Y'all scared of him, I ain't. Nah, I respect the president.